All right, everyone, here's another factor out the greatest common factor problem, the GCF. Remember that factoring is the reverse of multiplication. So when I get done with a factoring problem, my answer is going to be a product of, in this case, a GCF times something. So we got to figure out what is the GCF, and then of course figure out what the something inside parentheses is. So let's look at the coefficients of each one of these terms, 10, 14, and 16. Well, what's the greatest number that you can divide into each? Well, 2 goes into all of them. Will anything bigger than that go in? Looks like it's going to be 2. I could divide 5 into 10, but not into 14 and 16. And I could divide 10 into 10, but I can't divide 10 into either one of these things. So 2 is the greatest factor that divides into all three. Now we go to the x's. Let's take the variables one at a time. I've got x squared, I've got x, and remember this is x to the first power, and then 16 xy, and again the x here and the y here is just raised to the first power. Now what they have in common is x. Sure, this guy has x squared, but these guys don't. It has to be common to all three. The only thing common to all three is 1x. Same with the y's, y cubed, y squared, and y. What's common to all of them is just 1y. This guy has y squared and this guy has y cubed. That's all sweet and well, but what's common is just 1y. So there's the GCF, 2xy. So now I'm going to write down that 2xy, and I'm going to multiply that times something. And to get the something, remember, we take the GCF and we divide that into each one of these terms. And we look at the result, and that's what goes inside the parentheses. So let's look. 10 divided by 2 is 5. X squared over x is x. Y cubed over y is y squared. Minus, I'm just bringing down my signs. 14 divided by 2 is 7. X over x cancels out. Y squared over y is y. Bring down that plus sign. 16 divided by 2 is 8. X's cancel, the y's cancel. So this is the answer. Now, a quick check is a good idea. So if you distribute the 2xy through the parentheses, you should get back to what you started with. And you see we do. 2 times 5 is 10. X times x is x squared. Y times y squared is y cubed. 2 times negative 7 is negative 14. There's the x. And y times y is y squared. 2 times 8 is 16. And then there's no xy in here, but I've got my xy out here. So 2xy times 8 is 16xy. So this confirms that this is in fact the correct factorization.